Process works, it's three steps. The first thing, most important probably, is they have to submit information to our they have a nomination form. They nominate themselves, but it's a very extensive form. It's 28 pages that they have to complete. So they have to submit a lot of data, quite a bit of data. And then we go through a three-step process. We do a qualitative assessment based on some of the information. And then once we get through the 21, we have a group of academic analysts from around the world, leaders from companies like Cisco, professors, people who understand smart cities very well. And they look at the quantitative data, they study the quantitative data, and then they look at the list of 21, get more information, and then they evaluate it, and they submit to us the name of the 7. And so 2 days before we make our announcement, we get the names of the top 7. So they do 3? So Bindung has to go through a series of evaluations with their data and also with their stories, their reports, and whatever information our research develops as well. So it's a very extensive, it's a very rigorous process, but we think it's fair. What makes our process different is that we have a method, a scientific method of evaluating large cities, middle-sized cities, and small cities together. So we can evaluate them all equally and weight the information so that we get a proper analysis. And obviously Bindung has done very well.
He means that you just based on the data, should not the expert come here in person.
Not come here in person?
You just rely on the
data. Well, we rely on the data for the Smart 21 and the top 7 stage. If Bindung makes the top 7 tonight, if they're named to the top 7, then we require a visit from one of the ICF inspectors. So they will come here in person. Yeah, the last 2 years we've done it virtually because of COVID. But historically, they will visit for 2.5 days and really examine all of the processes and information. We check you, yes. Like a doctor, we check you to make sure. Yeah.
Trong cả cái dịch bệnh thì chúng tôi nắm được thông tin là những cái câu chuyện về đô thị thông minh không được thực hiện bởi vì dừng lại để chống dịch và mới chỉ quay lại cách đây vài tháng. Thế thì chỉ trong có vài tháng mà Bình Dương có thể từ top 2, top 21 vươn lên cạnh tranh top 7 thì câu chuyện đó là chúng tôi thấy rằng là nó rất là bất ngờ và ông có thể giải thích rõ hơn về câu chuyện đó.
He means that before the pandemic, Bình Dương just in top 21, but after the pandemic ends, Bình Dương in the top 7.
Yeah.
How can you explain?
Sure. It's a very simple explanation. They made progress. Again, we evaluate the data every year. We look at the old data, we compare it to the new data, and Bindung has just steadily, continuously made progress. Yeah. Steadily. So it's been consistent. So it hasn't gone like this, but it's gone like this. It's like Bindung reminds me of a very good jet plane.
Yes.
When it takes off, it just keeps going, and then it levels and it goes fast. And that's an analogy, but that's what we're seeing. And when we look at the way they are combining now housing, the way they are trying to attract people here to live, to work, and to continue to grow the innovation, that's, I think, that's impressed our analysts quite a lot. They've looked at that and they said that's the right direction, and so I think that's why they made that judgment to put you in the top 7.